Hello, 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 and welcome back to another video. So, the Switch 2 is finally here, and as you probably know from what I've stated earlier, I'm not buying one. So, let's get this off the screen before Nintendo starts coming after me. But I thought I'd go over some of the games that I will absolutely not get, some of the games that I might get, and some of the games that I definitely want to get in the future, but not right now. And because I said there's no games, and that's true. You got Mario Kart and Crickets. No, there's Welcome Tour. Hey, but I guess we'll get to that in a few minutes. So we're starting off, and I hate to pick on Bravely Default or Street Fighter 6 here. Actually, Street Fighter 6 is something I own on the PS5, but you'll see here with one of the first 5 games I absolutely refuse to buy are these game key cards. And you'll notice there's a big key over here on the US releases next to the rating. So kind of like this one. But I mean, on top of all of the issues with Switch 2 and DRM, Digital Rights Management, where you own nothing and you'll like it because Nintendo told you that. And they can also break your console, so be careful with that. But on top of all of the issues with that, whether you agree with that or not, or whatever, or you're coming from the PC master race, which is a term I absolutely hate, by the way, because how those graphic card updates every year costing you, huh? But anyway, that aside, they can brick your console at any time if they think you're messing with it, even though you paid $450 for it. So that's in the updated license agreement. Yay! Thanks, Nintendo. Great games, terrible corporate management currently. But the point is, game key cards. On top of all of those issues with digital rights management, which I just went over briefly, there's tons of videos that are more in depth, and you can check those out if you want. But it's plastic junk in a plastic box, which we discussed with Sark Trade 55. And on top of that, it's wrapped in cellophane, and it comes in either the Amazon packaging or the shopping bag you bought it at. So it is completely, disgustingly a waste of environmental resources, which I thought digital age was where we were going, and in an attempt to alleviate those resources and help save the planet. No, it turns out it was just a way for corporations to save a buck, and you're still paying the same price for digital as you would for physical. So anyway, no key cards. That's number one of my 5 refuse to buys. Number 2, and well, I mean, technically Breath of the Wild is not a Zelda game, and I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, but June 5th, I thought it was June 6th. Well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Actually, yeah, it was a Thursday, so anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm not getting one. The point is, these are just upgrades. They're selling you, I think they're $80. Don't quote me on that, but if you have these games, just and you want to play them on the Switch too, I understand, but go for the digital $10 upgrade or whatever, and save your money. Do not buy an entirely new version of the game, a new copy of the game, so just for the graphical upgrades. I mean, you already own it. Just get the upgrade pack. If you don't own it, then why not? I mean, you're gonna have to deal with all of this ugly ass text here at the bottom, which absolutely sucks. And this is where the key goes for the key cards, by the way. Yeah. So I mean, and yeah, companies are so cheap they don't want to pay for a 64 gigabyte Switch card anyway. Sorry, going back on my rants for a little bit, but yeah. And what are they gonna do? Because the games are the cards max out at 64 gigs, which is nothing. Some games are on a 100 gigabyte Blu-ray disc and still can't fit everything on there. You still got to download stuff. So Anyway, physical is dying if it's not truly dead anyway. But yeah, I'm not going to get any of these unless there's significantly new content, which we'll discuss in a moment. Next up, I mentioned Nintendo Switch. Welcome, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. So, thank you, Nintendo, for giving us the opportunity to pay $10 for a tech demo, or which is on the backs of however much one two shit cost back when the Switch launched, which is very loosely using the word game as a definition. But yeah, so you're paying $10 for a tech demo that you can't even fully maximize unless you have all the accessories. I've heard you need a Pro Controller and the camera and all this crap to actually get 100% of the game. So there's that. And Wii Sports, Reggie saved the day and sold so many Wii consoles because that was bundled in with the US version of the Wii, and people ate it up. That sold consoles. Welcome Tour is. I don't think it would sell consoles anyway. That Mario Kart seems to be doing a decent enough job of that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Welcome Tour is not worth the price, especially when Astrobot, or no, Astro's Playroom, I think it's called, on the PS5, an entire AAA game you get for free on the PS5. I don't understand why Nintendo would think this was a good idea. But anyway, yeah, Welcome Tour, not getting it. Next up on the not get list is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Honestly, if Wario were the main character here, I think it would be funnier. The gold would make much more sense because why does Donkey Kong want gold? He wants bananas. Come on. And on top of that, the character model, they're using the same Donkey Kong as the Super Mario movie, and I don't think it looks nearly as good as the classic, well, that's not classic, but the Donkey Kong Country model and Tropical Freeze looks so much better in my opinion. So yeah, this derpy Donkey Kong I have no interest in buying or playing whatsoever. So yeah, that's number 4. And then number 5, which, I mean, I wanted a nice 5. I'm not going to buy a nice 5. I might consider, and a nice 5 I'm going to buy, will circumstances being what they are. So Mario Kart fell here. I refuse to pay $80 for this game. I would rather buy it used and have my money go to GameStop or whatever, or somebody who's desperate for money, selling their copy. I'd gladly help them out over giving Nintendo $80 for a $70 Mario Kart game. Open world racers, I've played one. That was Burnout Paradise, and that was fun. But Mario Kart didn't need to be open world. In fact, I'm kind of tired of Mario Kart. All I do is I get it, I play all the tracks. Maybe I complete the game single player. I do online in a blue moon, once in a blue moon, like to test it, or when we had, or there was the pandemic was in full force, because I still don't think it's over technically. But yeah, and we had online game night, so we were playing Mario Kart online then, and that was fun. Playing with friends is fun, so I'll do that. But other than that, it's just like every other Mario Kart. It seems like it's just like every other Mario Kart game, and I've been playing them for years. It's kind of old, honestly, and the fact that racing games rely on rubber banding and lesser skilled players can use the items to wreck your race when you're running a really good race because you got skill, but no, the people behind you throw stupid items at you. That's not fun. Like, get good and actually race instead of relying on items because you suck. But yeah, so that's my Mario Kart World rant. I would rather buy it used than new, and no way in hell I'm paying $80 for it. And that's the bottom line, because Ben Cold said so. Now that we got those 5 games out of the way, let's take a look at 5 games I would consider maybe getting. And well, between Pokemon and Mario Kart, it was kind of a toss-up. But, I mean, I gotta take a stand on Mario Kart, even though I probably won't get Pokemon either. I mean, it's not a main series game, one, so I don't have that hanging over me. The graphics, when they showed it off, looked like absolute garbage. And I just saw a video where Game Freak is putting out something on, I think it was Xbox Series or something. Could be multi-platform, but it looked freaking amazing. And it's like, if you can do that, why are the Pokemon games so crappy looking? So that's really something you got to think about, whether you want to keep giving this company your money, or if you're just looking at nostalgia, looking through nostalgic goggles, because yeah, I don't know. Game Freak did not do their best in Gen 9, despite Scarlet Violet being a fantastic story game. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on Pokemon. Next up in the maybe category, it was rumored for years that we'd get a Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD collection, and they're still making that rumor. Honestly, they were both released separately on the Wii U, and we know how much of a dud that was in terms of sales. But I might want to go back and get those, but they're hella expensive now, so maybe not. But yeah, we need. I guess Wind Waker just came out on what the hell is it? Switch Online. They released GameCube, so F-Zero GX, Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur 2 with Link are your first 3 options there. But we need I would say a true way to own this, but we already went through that rant. But yeah, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess, not separately. They need to be together. Technically, Twilight Princess was a GameCube game as well, so I don't know if this does happen. It should be for Zelda 40 next year, and I would consider picking it up in that case. But yeah, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, more for Twilight Princess HD, because I hated Wind Waker when I was playing it. Just a Toon Link sucks. The music I didn't like. And of course I'm comparing everything to Ocarina of Time, because that's the GOAT. But yeah, so it comes up, it's a maybe. Also a maybe, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and Jamboree TV. And this is why I might consider getting it, because it's finally a proper game. Now that the Jamboree TV content is added in. My rant last year was that it just wasn't enough, and especially with Super Mario Party was so lackluster, and the middle one was that I don't remember what the middle game on the Switch was, but that should have been DLC for the first game, and then I would have been interested in Jamboree. But 3 games is ridiculous. If you haven't gotten it yet, then you should consider Jamboree TV, because it's finally a complete game. And it's got the Mario Party name on the Switch too, so hey, Nintendo's starting the ball rolling there. And next up, that's the third might buy, I think. The next might buy, also with new content, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, or Kirby Discovery, my 2022 game of the year, is getting a re-release with extra content, the Star-Crossed World. So yeah, I would definitely consider it out. Maybe consider it. Maybe checking reviews or some videos of Starcross World to see if it's actually worth the upgrade. But if you didn't get it on the Switch one, then yes, I would definitely say that's probably a must buy here on the Switch 2 when the ball starts rolling. And is there one more? I think there was one more here. Boom. And this is leaning more to the maybe or might buy or something. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This is another one that's on the cusp of the good side. And I don't know if you can see it because it's really small, but the question mark is what I wanted in the picture here. But you got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes or Dark Echoes, depending on your region, remastered, plus a Metroid Prime 3 Corruption remastered, or they can finally put all three of those on the remastered trilogy like they had on the Wii, which might possibly happen for Metroid 40 next year also. But I would also think Nintendo would want to release these before Metroid Prime 4 finally comes out, or Shadow drop them or something. So I don't know. What they might do is release them digitally and then have the trilogy or quadrilogy set next year. Who knows? Anyway, that's the last of the might buys, I do believe. Moving on, we've got boom. The first game I would strongly consider buying here. We've got Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. However, I also learned that this is going to all the platforms, so if it is on Xbox or is on PS5, I might not need to get a Switch 2 version. But not the VR missions, the prototype missions. That's on the Switch, and the first game, just Daemon X Machina, is on the Switch. So yeah, that was awesome. It looks awesome. That might be one I would consider. And next up, that I'm thinking about getting, and I don't know why, because I had Cyberpunk on the PS4, and tongue in cheek gave it my 2020 game of the year because that year was such a cluster luck, and so was the game on release. I still have to play it, and it still looks pretty cool and plays. I'm sure it plays much better, and they fixed all the stuff, but they shouldn't have released it in that state. But you look at that yellow and blue, and you compare it to the Switch version here, and that red is popping. So that's the first thing you notice is Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition with the DLC included. What does that say? Phantom Liberty? So the cover art just looks fantastic. That is amazing. That is, I guess it's popular now to say a chef's kiss, but that is wonderful. And not only that, but this company, CD Projekt Red, did it right because they got the 64 gigabyte card and put the entire game on it. And that is what these third-party companies need to be doing, is put the whole damn game on the whole damn card. Screw the key cards. This game should be supported. This company should be supported for doing that. And vote with your wallet. Tell Nintendo, tell the game companies they do not want garbage key cards. They want complete games like this. And that's what we need to do. Okay, moving on. We've got three more. And as you know, or I mean, I've been talking about it for 8 years. Nintendo's been talking about it for 8 years. But Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, there's still no release date. But they swear up and down that it's going to release this year. So, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is one of the games I would think about getting. However, let's go down to Exhibit A. And if this is accurate, you can see the Switch version on the left, the Switch 2 version on the right, and do you notice anything about these covers? The left, the artwork is beautiful. It fills up the entire box. Boom. That is a must buy. The artwork on the right, much smaller. It's got all of this garbage text here. Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Do you really need that for a game that is releasing on both at the same time? Especially since people should be smart enough to realize that that says Switch 2 and the case is a completely different color than the Switch 1 version. But I suppose if people thought that the Wii U was just an upgrade to the Wii, then Nintendo has to make them more clear, so they sort of learned from a few of the mistakes they made in the past. But who wants this text and all this text, all of that garbage covering up the artwork, if the perfect version would be this artwork with the red case? Because that would be fantastic. But apparently this is what Nintendo is going to give us, so I don't know. Like I said, I do believe this is going to be the Breath of the Wild for the Switch, the original Switch, or the Twilight Princess for the GameCube. I believe that these versions might be more rare than the Switch 2 versions. So, yeah. What I think I will end up doing is I might get the Switch 2 version, because some of them, some videos have put Tears of the Kingdom and other stuff in, and they will play on the original Switch, believe it or not. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get some more data and a Nintendo Direct soon. So we've got 2 more games that I would actually consider buying, and these are not announced, or nor are they actually real. Oh no, one is. That's right. Sorry. Number 2 of 5, Drag and Drive. Now, the wheelchair basketball game using the dual mouse functionality. That seems like an actual innovation and classic Nintendo. Granted, the Joy-Cons, a lot of people said they're really small to be actual mice, but hopefully someone will figure it out so you can plug in a couple of USB mice, because they are left and right wheels, left and right mouse there. This game just seems really cool to me and unique and something I want to play. But again, they're selling the mouse functionality hard, and nothing that I'm aware of besides maybe Welcome Tour actually uses it. So this game needs to come out soon. Metroid Prime 4 needs to come out soon. And who the hell has that much tabletop space anyway? Who sits at the table when they game, you know? So this might be a novelty like ARMS. ARMS was really fun, but didn't play it much, and I'm sure a lot of people put it down early too. But it was good to have back when the Switch had a few games out. And yeah, it was interesting stuff. Nintendo was creative when they released ARMS. They're creative when they announced Drag and Drive. But we'll see how well it actually does. And finally, again, this one was not or is not announced. But I was talking with a friend, and a different Chris, not the Chris for Mega Man, but he said that now that we have a mouse, why don't they bring back Mario Paint? And I said, well, they have a mouse and they have Super Nintendo Online, so yeah, they totally should bring back Mario Paint. So hopefully that's something we'll see in the future, is either Mario Paint or excuse me, even better, a third game in the series, because Mario Artist released for the 64DD, and I believe there was Paint Studio and Communication Studio. There's about 4 of the Mario Artist games in that set. So in 2025, or maybe 2026, because I don't think they're that creative enough to have this ready to go this year. But you know, I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. But yeah, a third Mario Paint, Mario Artist, game. Like I said, there were 4 games on the 64DD, but they'll count in the same series. So a Switch 2 series of Mario Artist games, or all in one. That would be fantastic, and that's the kind of stuff they need now that they have mouse functionality, which they could have done with the USB mouse on the previous system, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so there you have it. Those are 5 games I refuse to buy, or will buy used. 5 games I would consider depending on the right circumstances, and 5 games I would absolutely be down for the Switch 2 when I eventually pick it up, because it's definitely not urgent right now, not for me. But yeah, let me know in the comments what games you're interested in seeing. I'm sure Galaxy 3 is going to be tossed around, or Odyssey 2 or whatever. And you know Nintendo's working on that, since it's been 8 years since the last big 3D Mario game. Because Bowser's Fury was just an add-on to the 3D World, whatever it's called. But yeah, it's been a long time, Nintendo. So we'll probably see that. It's Mario 40th, and there's been quickness on that front, so we might see that announced. We might see the return of 3D All-Stars with Galaxy 2 this time. Who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments what you want to see on the Switch 2, because we got another 6, 7 years, 8 years maybe of the Switch 2 to look forward to, or not look forward to, depending on what happens. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep dancing.